ladies and gentlemen. This is David Zere. You're watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. We have a really special guest with us right now. We have Paul Preston, who is the founder and president of the Movement for a New California State. And Paul is also the host of Red State Talk Radio's Agenda 21 Radio. And we're actually on his radio show as he is on our show right now. So, Paul, welcome.
Well, welcome, David. It's really nice to be on with you. And how's the weather back there?
Oh, it's great. It's 25 degrees and icy roads and streets. And it snowed for the 6th time in 2 weeks. We're doing all right.
It's cold here, but not that cold. No, I'm in Northern California. We got tons of snow in the Sierra Nevadas. We got, 10, 20 feet of it. But we haven't gotten the snow down here in the valley, so that's a good thing.
Right. Well, they can use that for the California water supply, right?
That's true. That's absolutely correct. That's all good.
Yes, global warming. So anyway, Paul, I wanted to welcome you back to the show. All right. You're concerned about the creep of socialism and communism like I am here in New York. In the state of California, for the past 30 years, you look for a way to stop this totalitarian takeover, correct? And you found articles, in the state constitution that can help you secede from California, right?
Right. Well, it's not only the state constitution, but the United States Constitution. Article 4, Section 3 of the Constitution states that if you want to form a state from a pre-existing state, then you have to work with the legislature concerned and then that of the Congress. So it's very specific. You work with the legislature, and then you work with the Congress. You do not include the executive branches or the judiciary, similar to what's going on with the voter fraud business, where you have state legislatures are responsible for voting in every state, and the executive is not in charge, bureaucrats not in charge, the judicial is not in charge, it's only the legislature. And that's what has everybody all in a tizzy, is that the legislature has, the legislators and legislatures in varying states have been overridden by so many executive orders that are unconstitutional, that has led to really, I think, a lot of massive fraud that we've seen here.
Right. So do you have enough votes for the recall yet in California?
It's looking like they've got enough signatures, and the signatures are stubborn things because they're very, very specific about writing their signatures in certain brackets and not touching lines, and they're being very, very finicky. It looks like they're going to get the extra 500,000 that they need. I think they need a total of 2 million signatures to get the 1.5 necessary, because you're probably going to have to discount a lot of them for signature improper signatures and things like that.
When I was 23 years old, I had knocked off an initiative and referendum on the ballot here in New York that was going to stop about $3.5 billion in construction. And I sat in a room for a month and went over 5,000 signatures and found faulty witness statements, lack of pertinent electoral information, in general, unregistered signatories. So I know how that can go. So I just wanted to ask you, so what is the unemployment rate in California right now?
Oh boy, probably 17 to 19%.
Wow. And
maybe higher. It's hard to get the data correct. Certainly the state's not providing any useful data at all. The state is completely broken. We just had this whole scandal about the Employment Development Department, in which, suddenly, shockingly, it was first announced that $13 billion turned up missing because of fraud, and now we're looking up to, are you ready for this, over $100 billion in missing funds distributed from California's EDD, federal dollars mostly, to other states and to other nations such as China and such as Nigeria and such as Russia and the Balkans areas. This is a absolutely spectacular, I guess you would say, fall from grace for the state of California. And it adds to the increased negative cash flow that California is experiencing right now. Schools are closed. The state is basically bankrupt. Not even basically, it's technically bankrupt. Of course, states cannot go bankrupt. That's the other part of it. We have to pay off the debt. But the bigger problem is you're looking at, before they can even balance the books, that they need about $150 billion at this point in time just to get to zero and not
Wow.
be in the red. And now you have this $100 billion that nobody knows where it went. It's just a staggering number, and nobody knows where it went. Well, other than the auditor, her name is Elaine Howe, she's a Democrat, and she is as hard as nails on Democrats. I mean, she wants the exact numbers. I mean, you probably remember those kind of Democrats that were exacting. They wanted honesty. They wanted the right numbers.
Yeah.
She's tough as nails on these people, and she's not tolerating it, which is a good thing. But by her estimate, a lot of this money has gone to these other countries and other states, I might add, blue states, that have some sort of arrangement. We haven't discovered it yet, some sort of arrangement with blue states, and in particular, New York. So New York has been benefiting from the money that's been flowing out of California over the last couple of years.
Wow. That's very interesting. It's gross abuse of the public trust, it seems like. And as Drudge used to say, 100 billion ain't what it used to be. So maybe it's not that bad, right? So I wanted to talk about the infection rates in California. So, the red states have 3 to 5% unemployment, and the blue states have like 11 to 15 probably on average. And they've got these incredible lockdowns. And as Stanford University says, more people are going to die from the lockdown results than from the COVID over the next couple of years. And I think it's going to be as high as 1.5 million, 2 million people. It's going to be huge. So California's total number of COVID as a percentage of the population is about 8.8%. It's 8.3% in Florida, and Florida is open for business without a statewide mask mandate. And, their unemployment's probably like 4%, 5%. It's low. And 1.35% of Californians have died who've gotten the COVID. And in Florida, it's about 1.57%. It's very close. So has Gavin Newsom destroyed the economy? Were the lockdowns a mistake? And they have half the deaths per capita of New York State, per se. So was it successful, or is it just completely horrible?
Complete failure. And here's the other thing is that the numbers that they're using are completely suspect. Right now, they're introducing a bill. Are you ready for this? A bill in the legislature that will tell everybody they're not going to report the cause of death any longer as a matter of public record. And the only reason they're doing that is to cover up the fact that you have people that are dying of gunshot wounds, but they're listed as dying from COVID virus. Like I was saying this morning as I was reading about this bill on my radio show, I said it's funny how, those bullets fly out of the gun, gather up a virus in the air, it hits the head, spins around in the head, makes your brain into mush, and you suddenly die of COVID virus before the bullet hurts you.
Yes, I heard that. It's post-ballistic COVID syndrome, PTCS.
That's right. I like
PB.
that.
So, all right, I want to talk about the border. It's open for business again for illegals. And Trump lowered it, illegal immigration, 54% in 2019, probably 86% in the last year or so of less traffic at the border, especially with the COVID and stuff. Is California due for another crime wave and a massive illegals coming in?
It's already happening. And, our crime rate is starting to soar in various places along the border in particular. And this is not going to dissipate anytime soon as this onslaught continues. It's an invasion is what it is. And it's an invasion very well organized and orchestrated south of the border in Central America. They bring them up in caravans. We're talking about tens of thousands of people are going to be coming across the border, and Joe Biden's not going to do too much about it. And the problem is that these people don't really understand, for these people, these illegal immigrants, illegal foreign nationals, as we call them, I'm not faulting them. They are being victimized by these coyotes and I call them slave masters, because that's exactly what they are. We are seeing modern day slavery as these people are bought and sold below the border and then brought up over across the border into California and other states. And they get involved in our social services programs designed to house them, shelter them, teach them, and so on. where the federal government subsidizes these organizations, primarily church organizations, that are getting billions of dollars to service these illegal foreign nationals. So there's a huge financial incentive that the left is working big time with, hand in hand with the cartels south of the border. So this is trafficking in human flesh and slavery, as we call it on my radio show. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just simple slavery that we've had for eons of time, just in a different form.
It's really terrible, really terrible. So we, in about 30 seconds, tell us where our viewers can follow your radio show and get you on the web and social media.
Well, we're on Agenda21Radio.news, which is on Red State Talk Radio. That's Red State Talk Radio. We emanate out of Washington, D.C. And also NewCaliforniaState.com. NewCaliforniaState.com. We're really rocking with New California State. We're going to become a state pretty soon. Donald Trump is coming to California. He's going to help us out. We're really excited about that. And, it's time now for change in California in a big way. California is 75% conservative. It's not a liberal state. Don't be fooled. They've been lying to you about that, and we have the numbers to prove it. Of course, the election fraud is something else we're working on too. So thank you.
Paul Preston, a founder and president Movement for New California State. Catch him on Red State Talk Radio's Agenda 21 Radio. Paul, thank you so much, and let's do this again. I'll follow up.
Anytime, brother. Anytime. I appreciate being on.
Thanks so much, Paul. Everybody, This is David Zere. You're watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News.